Hello everyone, Lumen River is with you. I will be very glad of your likes and comments. Enjoy watching. A boy named Kasi Naguma walks into the bathroom of the goddess's dorm and panics when he sees all the women there. And now remember how Kashi lost his house because of the horror of a terrible fire. He lies dying on the street, begging, and then meets a girl named Minerva, who acts as his savior, bringing him to the goddess's hostel. He enjoys eating her food, but hurries to take a quick bath after she teases him. It is at this moment that we see Kasi fleeing to Korea. Suncho, Fry and the serene Hazumi are in the bath. He panics and runs away after they made fun of his elephant, but then he bumps into Tina and Tommy, and then her nose bleeds after an awkward encounter. Kashi is knocked down, and then he is officially introduced to the goddess dormitory. Manaru offers Kashi Otaina's room since he can be their mother in the dorm to help him maintain his livelihood. However, he finds out that Otaina is afraid of men, and that's why the girls want her to leave the dorm. He doesn't like their attitude, so he rushes in search of henceforth and manages to bring her back to the dorm after another awkward meeting. Now that everyone is gathered together, Kasi gets to work and collects garbage from each room, but stumbles upon a manor dressed in a racy outfit when she conducts some questionable experiments. He tries to escape from her, but then he is cheerfully dragged into another room by Fry, who seems to be Love's cosplay. She dresses our hero in a fox butler costume, and then makes him measure her body in a hilarious sequence. Random encounters another strange situation during the fight, but then Minerva takes this couple away, as one of her experiments went terribly wrong. Because of the chemicals, some toxic fumes have escaped, so our heroes have to stay outside the dorm. Kasi scolds the girls and leaves, but the audience ridicules his costume, so he returns to his harem. However, the relationship between them is becoming more acute, and this infuriates Tina, so she decides to prevent the mistresses from corrupting the mind of our hero. Kasi tries to sleep at night, but he is prevented by Korea, which breaks the ceiling and falls on his face. She apologizes for this and says she likes shoujo manga. Kasi begins to worry when she witnesses how powerful Korea is becoming when she is excited by such stories. Then the situation becomes even more awkward when Korea asks for permission to spend the night in Kasi's room. He reluctantly agrees, but immediately regrets it when Korea recalls his past with his brothers and playfully fights with them. Kasi gets desperate and runs off to Korea's room to sleep in peace. However, the siren comes to ask for a snack at midnight and realizes that Korea has been replaced. She orders Kashi to become her slave, and he agrees, although still not quite conscious. Serene seals the deal with a kiss and fixes all the damage to the walls and ceiling. The next day, Kashi cooks a delicious meal for everyone, and all the girls start flirting with him, so that Otaina regains consciousness. Now our hero decides to go grocery shopping, and Otaina also voluntarily agrees to go with him. However, Minerva teases her again, putting her in an awkward position after he pushed the pigtail into her. Now the couple visits the store and buys the necessary goods, after which they briefly get closer. However, Tina is facing some men, and because of her condition, she is about to bleed from her nose. So Kasi saves her girlfriend by also calling her big sister. This seems to excite Tina so much that she makes her toy boy repeat the same words to her again. This only leads to a comedy of mistakes filled with random touches. They return home, but the girls tease Kashi, so Tina uses her weapon and Fuki to control their desire. Now the other housewives also want Kashi to call them big sister, and his life becomes even more difficult when he has to wash his underwear in a manner. It's time for the Golden Week, and everyone is preparing for it, but the girls refuse to feel sorry for their toy, Boran, and play with him a little more. Everyone has breakfast, and then Fry dresses up Kashi in a beautiful doll, after which the girls try to compete for his affection. However, Korea beats up our hero, hoping to excite him, and Tina tries to help Kashi, but they again find themselves in a situation where the situation becomes extremely delicate. Fortunately, Kashi gets a break when the girls return him to school, paying for his tuition. He is very happy that he got the first place, but then he is attacked by his childhood friend Suddy Karo. She is upset that Kashi did not keep in touch with her after the house fire, so he tries to explain himself, but to no avail. Kashi tries to talk to Satya after class, but she just tells him to leave her alone. We learn that her body overreacts to heat, but then she remembers the time when she first saw porridge as a child. He offers her to play with him, but she explains to him her state of health. Our hero thinks quickly, and then takes out some ice to help her feel better. This is what leads to the fact that they become good friends, and then the essence of her feels guilty because she treated Kashi badly. That's when he uses the same icy trick with her to make her feel better. Now our hero tells the essence and everything about his harem and the goddess of the storm, but she does not believe him. Cassie tries to prove her point and it suddenly leads to a compromised position. Tsutaya tries to flirt with the plebeian, but accidentally kicks him again. Now the couple is heading back to the dorm, but the hostesses meet her awkwardly. The girls are fascinated by Soy, but Kashi tries to explain his condition to her so that they don't touch her excessively. However, this only leads to him being kicked again, as Satya does not know how to express her love. So, the harem tries to make a pleasant impression on Satya, but gets up on the wrong foot when the manor releases even more toxic chemicals. Rei doesn't do any better when she tries to get Satya to put on a suit, but Athena, fortunately, comes to her rescue. Now Sutya is communicating with other girls, but they are also not doing so well. So Serene tries to calm her down with a rice cracker. Later, the harem asks Sue to stay the night and offers to spend the night in Otina's room. The girls chatted for a while, but they were alerted when Cassie accidentally stumbled upon Korea after taking a bath. This upsets Tsutaya very much, and she scolds Ayatana and Korea. This leads to the fact that they begin to behave awkwardly next to Kashi, and one day they leave without lunch. Fry decides to dress up our hero as a girl and send him to their school, but he is immediately noticed as a boy, and this leads to a funny sequence of events. Fortunately, Tina comes to his rescue and takes him with her. She seems to feel good around him because he looks like a girl. And then she takes him to Korea so he can feed them both lunch. However, we witness another awkward encounter when a Latina has a wardrobe malfunction. When they return to God in a thunderstorm, and Tina offers to go on vacation together. Serena doesn't seem to like the idea, so she runs up the stairs and Kashi is sent to comfort her. However, there is a real mess in the siren's room, and our hero stumbles upon her after a short struggle. She reminds a random playboy what made him her slave, and then mentions that she is connected to the forces of the moon. This means that she usually does not go outside the school or dorm. Thus, the harem is trying to find a solution to the problem. Now Cassie gets acquainted with Sutya and asks her to go on a trip with him. She agrees, but reflexively slaps him in the face. Meanwhile, Fry tries to help Serena with cosplay, but she refuses to wear any costumes. So after that, Fry set his sights on the manor. Fortunately, the girls eventually convinced Serena to go on a trip with them by giving her a moon umbrella. She later thanks Kashi for fixing some of her clothes, but remains mysterious. So, the team goes on vacation, but in the end it turns out to be at the wrong destination, because Anna mixed up the orders. It seems that their hotels are haunted, and this scares Korea, so she rushes to Kos for support. This clearly upsets Sut, and she chases after him. At night, Cassie faces more problems as the girls tease him while bathing than even while sleeping. He suddenly notices that Athena is going somewhere in the middle of the night, so he teams up with Manu to find her. The search turns into a creepy mystery, and Kashi gets scared, so Manu offers him some support. However, she also flirts with Kashi, thereby forcing him to run away. Eventually he stumbles upon Athena, but they sense a ghost nearby and find shelter. And Tina tries to start a romantic relationship with Kashi, but they are hindered by the manor and Serene, who turns out to be a ghost. The next day, the whole harem decides to have fun on the beach. Satya begins to envy the girls because they have an amazing body, and then she notices Cassie peeping at Athena through her binoculars. He tries to control his emotions, and then notices that Sutya is drowning, as she found a fish trapped in a delicate place. Kashi can't swim, so he begs Korea to save her, and his mistress is saved. Sut thanks Kashi for taking care of her, and then Korea shows her the ice packs he also packed for her. So, some men are bothering Athena, so Kashi comes to her rescue and takes her away, saying that he is her mother from the hostel. Later, Sut begins to get closer to the girls, especially Satina and Korea. And Tina assures her that Kashi is like a brother to her, but this only saddens our hero. He begins to behave strangely with his mistresses, so they begin to suspect his behavior and decide to do something about it. Rei takes Kashi to a cosplay shop and forces him to put on a warrior costume after he resists her for a while. She tells a fantastic story similar to the current situation of our hero, and then enters into a duel with him. Kashi struggles with her and then Fry questions him about his true emotions. He reveals that he has conflicting feelings for Katina, and then Fry pushes him to confront them. However, she goes a little too far, and this makes Kashi very emotional. The cosplay queen consults with him, and then Kashi finally begins to understand his feelings. The college festival is finally starting, and our heroes are going to a street fair. Rei appears to greet Satya and Kashi, after which she leads them to the Minoru kiosk where she sells some of her illegal experiments. The authorities chase her away, and then Kashi finds out that the college president mistakes the siren for a demonic beast. To top it all off, the elixir of manners breaks out and makes all the girls lose their decency. Kashi and Susti are also attacked, but fortunately, a siren appears and uses her moon powers to save everyone. After that, she loses consciousness, so Kashi takes care of her in the infirmaries. She wakes up and demands a kiss from her toy boy to come to her senses. Kasi manages to avoid her punches just in time before they are caught by the others. Now Otina dresses like a maid, and her outfit drives men crazy. She tries to serve Kashi as her master, but stumbles and causes another wear bleed. After a long struggle at work, Tina takes a break, and then the girls offer her to go for a walk with Kashi. Unfortunately, our hero makes the mistake of drinking another of Minerou's elixirs. This forces him to tell the truth every time he is asked about something, and then he goes with Korea and Athena to the haunted maze. The girls are puzzled by his behavior, so they flirt with him and fool around. Later, Cassie learns that the elixir was actually water and he acted of his own free will. Now the team escapes after Minerva releases his love potion again. The next day, Korea announces that she also needs to go Christmas shopping, as a party is being held at her family's dojo. Kashi and Tina volunteer to help her, but Tina becomes weak after an awkward encounter with her serf. Korea and Cassie go shopping and have a great time together, but it makes Korea wonder if it's really a date, and she gets jealous of the man. Our hero thinks about all sorts of dirty costumes for Korea and accuses Fry of corrupting him. However, the duo has no choice, so they turn to the cosplay queen for help. She messes around rather and makes Kashi look at it, so he crawls away in despair. Christmas is approaching, but Adna is still sick, so Serene goes to dojo instead. Our heroes get acquainted with all the children training under the guidance of a Korean family, after which Kashi gets a very unpleasant workout. The children are quite straightforward, but Kashi notices a lonely student who is not feeling well. She thinks Santa won't give her a badge since she's not a very fast learner. So Cassie cheers her up, and then begins to communicate emotionally with other children. And now Korea and Serena dress up and give out gifts, after which Serena turns Cassie into her personal dear. Later, Korea thanks our hero for his efforts and is about to kiss him, but they are interrupted by Serena. And now the girls are sitting down at a table for Katetsu, and Koshi is overjoyed to see this. A Korean woman tries to put a pigtail on her lap, and then all the girls mess with each other under the table. It's time to discuss some homework, so Cassie decides to invite Sutaya, but this upsets Athena. Suta behaves cool in the first grade, but eventually comes to us and starts solving math problems with our hero. They become very comfortable, so they both lose consciousness, but Sutaya wakes up from some playful touches, and Tina notices the lovers together, so Sutaya mercilessly beats up Kashi. Other girls are staying, and then Kashi has to rescue the siren from her own room when it gets too crowded. Later, Kashi, Sutya and Otina will carry out a small general cleaning, and then they will have access to a secret entrance that leads to the Chic Minor laboratory. Eventually, the siren's room will be opened and we will find out that she was collecting gifts for the harem. Later, Manoru gets drunk with Serena and Athena, after which they all attack our hero. And Tina wants to express her emotions to him, but before that she loses consciousness. It is at this moment that Sut witnesses everything that is happening and beats her serf. The next day, Cassie cleans outside and then goes to the other girls discussing their plans for the future. Everyone wants to stay in the goddess dorm, and this pleases Cassie, as he has done his hair for his new family. They give him some pocket money and he goes shopping with Korea. However, he faints in the store due to fever, and this worries all his mistresses. They immediately get to work, and the boys take care of their toy in their own way. They also come for support, but faints after checking their body temperature. Ray disguises himself as a naughty nurse, and the following events lead to the fact that the woman faints right in front of his eyes. Our hero turns to other girls for help, but he can't take a break, as he has to face various situations. Things are only getting worse for the plebeian, so a certain Tina volunteered to look after him herself. She cares a lot about porridge, but the temperature doesn't seem to be improving. The toy boy from Tina starts to resist, so she holds his hand and remembers all their memories together. She is grateful to fate for having Kasi in her life, and then falls asleep right on him. The next day, our hero returns to normal and immediately gets to work. He has reunited with his family and they are planning to spend another fun day together. And that's where the show ends. Share and subscribe to more awesome reports, and click on the bell icon to receive notifications. Alright then, see you in the next issue.